Eric Balkman here from the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour, talking with FFPC co-founder Alex Kaganovsky about the FFPC's newest innovation, the Big Gorilla. Alex, I'll let you take it away. What is the Big Gorilla?
What isn't the Big Gorilla? So, as you were a big part of, Eric, the Big Gorilla is the new name for our long-standing contest that started off back in 2010 as the Football Guys Players Championship and was called the Football Guys Players Championship for many, many years. And then we partnered with the Fantasy Pros guys, and we renamed it the Fantasy Pros Championship. And that lasted the last couple of years, and that was fantastic as well. And everyone enjoyed this contest as it evolved. And over the course of the last off season, as we call it, which was middle of the NFL season, we were thinking about where to take this contest next, and we decided to rebrand it as the Big Gorilla, the FFPC Big Gorilla. So it's the FFPC now. There's no one else here. We still have a lot of partners who are going to help us promote this contest, but this is now the FFPC's Big Gorilla.
The Big Gorilla it's kind of a funny way that you came up with the name, because it was a blending of two different sayings or colloquialisms. I can't even say that. That kind of came together when you and co-founder Dave Gerzak of the FFPC were talking about it. You kind of mixed it into two, and boom, the Big Gorilla was born, right?
Yeah, it was as you say, and we kind of all laughed about this. But the quick backstory is Dave and I, as we always do, we're going over the 2025 FFPC contest, and thinking about the different changes we're going to make and all the different contests, so on and so forth. And we kept coming back to, well, what are we going to do with the with the 350? That's no longer the Fantasy Pros Championship, and what are we going to do with it? Are we going to rename it? Are we going to this? Are we going to that? Make any changes to it? And we finally, and this was going on over the course of weeks, and every time Dave and I got on a call about it, we never really came to a solution until we finally just said, or I think it was me that said, so yeah, it's the Big Gorilla in the room. And I think I meant to say the 800-pound gorilla in the room, or the elephant in the room, kind of, and it came out as the Big Gorilla in the room. And 10 seconds later, we were both like looking at each other. I think we're on a video call, and we're like, the Big Gorilla, that kind of sounds fun, and off it went. And then, it just took off from there. We were having a lot of fun with it. And as you participated in our whole team, how many calls were we on where we were like brainstorming the different ideas and kind of the way that we could present the tournament and how much fun it could be, and how we could kind of, have a lot of fun with the elements of the gorilla in the jungle and so on and so forth.
The other thing I should bring up too, regarding Fantasy Pros, who was the last sponsor or co-sponsor of this competition, great partner, love to work with them, parting on very good terms. So I wanted you to speak on that, and then also the reasoning behind having no partner for this contest this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guys at Fantasy Pros were terrific. We partnered with them 2 years ago. They did a fantastic job for us, and we're still actually going to work with them. They're going to continue supplying us the weekly projections that you're going to see on our league pages. So nothing but love with those guys for sure. But we, kind of just decided to, go in a different direction in terms of bringing it back to the FFPC and just, doing something again. It was a little bit of an accident, the way, this idea turned out. But I think that was kind of the goal. The goal is to, just have our contest and then have all our partners help in that capacity. But everything else is under the FFPC umbrella from now on.
I think the other thing too, and this is probably the first question a lot of people ask: how is the Big Gorilla different from the previous Fantasy Pros Championship? What are some of the new elements that are being introduced in 2025 that weren't there in years previous?
Yeah, and that was part of the fun of putting all this together when we were all on the calls together, and we were thinking about, first we were thinking about, look, there's a lot of aspects about this contest that people have loved over the years, obviously, because it's grown to last year 16,500 teams entered in this contest. Over the years, it's always grown every year. So obviously, there's a lot of love for this format, but how can we make it better? How can we make it fun? How could we get rid of some aspects of it that maybe people didn't really like as much, and some of those I think that became a little bit stale was the early bird promo, which in the past involved entering the contest and getting a free $35 credit, which it's always nice to get something for free, but at the same time we were like, let's do something new, let's do something fun, and that's where the early Rampage idea came from. Where in the early Rampage, I'll just go over it really quick. It's really like a contest within contest. So if you enter within a certain period or before June 15th, and if you're part of the first 200 leagues that form in the Big Gorilla, you're entered in the early Rampage promo, which is a contest within a contest. And all the teams that could qualify, that enter during that time and can qualify later in the season, will be placed in the early Rampage leaderboard, and which would be separate from all the other prizes that you could potentially win in the Big Gorilla contest. But these teams are now, in the Big Gorilla leaderboard, and they could win up to $10,000. And there's other prizes all the way down, I believe, to the top 30 spots. So we thought that was fun. That's kind of like, again, a contest within a contest. The Rampage name, I forgot who came up with it. It was one of the people on our team. And again, we had a lot of fun putting that together, and I think that it's going to be certainly a lot more fun than the previous early bird promos and the typical, get in and get something free. This is like an entire new content. Get in early and get something really cool in return.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we should understand is drafting earlier has never been better, because anybody who is in one of these first 200 leagues prior to June 15th, you will essentially get to be in two tournaments for the price of one. You'll be in the Big Gorilla. You'll also be in the early Rampage. In the early Rampage, you can still win a 5-figure grand prize in that. So that is very cool to be offering that this year.
Is it the Rampage or Rampage?
I think it's just like, because I say Rampage as a verb, but when I'm using it as a noun, it's Rampage.
Rampage. All right.
Yeah.
Because I've heard both ways, and Dave and I were like Rampage.
I don't think it's wrong either way. That's the way I do it.
I think I'm going to stick with Rampage, but
there you go.
I think either way is good.
Yeah. The early Rampage was not enough because the 7 bananas promo was something that was added as well. And I think this is something that is going to ring true for a lot of players who are always complaining, or not complaining, but always stating like, I love this competition, but I always seem to get this same pick, X number of drafts in a row. So we're doing something special for those people who are getting that 7th pick. X-Men. Well, I'll let you explain it. The 7 bananas.
Yeah, so this was, again, one of those things that we all as a team kind of brainstormed about, and I think it's a lot of fun. So, again, everyone wants kind of the 1 and the 2 picks, right? The top 3 picks or whatever. Everyone hates the 11 and 12. Although last year, Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, I don't think too many of those guys at the back of the drafts were complaining at the end of the year with their picks. But with that said, we don't know how the season is going to turn out. So people do look forward to specific draft spots. And we're like, you know what? Why don't we incorporate that into some sort of a promotion? And this is not an early bird or any kind of midseason. This is actually a full season promo. And it basically rewards teams for getting the 7 pick, and we picked the 7 just because it's a lucky number. Why not? It's like smack in the middle, right, of 1 and 12, and it rewards those teams or awards those teams that get lucky enough of getting the 7 pick more than 2 times, at least twice in a row, and then multiple times in a row. Which, by the way, happens quite a bit. We ran the numbers, and it does happen quite a bit. And we do get part of the complaining is I got the 11 pick, 3 times in a row, and I got the 12 pick 4 times in a row or whatever. Well, in this case, if you get the 7 pick 2 times in a row, you're going to get $125 best ball credit. If you do, and once you get it the second time in a row, now you have a chance to get it the third time in a row. And if you do that, you get a main event credit, which is worth $2,200. And if you, again, it happens again, and it does happen. We ran the numbers. If you get it 4 times in a row, you get a $10,000 entry into a high society contest. And if you are one of the really lucky ones, and this doesn't happen that often, but it could potentially.
Right.
It could potentially happen. 5 7 picks in a row. You go to the jungle safari all the way in Africa, and for your entire family. But if you really don't want to do that, we'll give you $50,000 in cash.
So this is the great thing about this. Like, this sounds like a made up thing. Like, who would do this? Well, the FFPC is doing this. If you get the 7 pick 5 times in a row, we will put you on a jungle safari for 4 people. And if you don't want to do that, that's cool. We'll just give you $50,000 cash. That'll work out as well. So that's if you get the full bunch. So 7 pick 2 times in a row, $125 best ball team. 7 pick 3 times in a row, free main event team. 4 times in a row, free $10,000 high society entry, which is our highest entry league that we have at the FFPC. And then 5 times in a row for the 7 pick jungle safari. Insane stuff. Absolutely insane. So that's what's new. The early rampage, the 7 bananas. But people want to know, like, well, what's coming back? What's still there? First thing right away, I think of this contest forever has been a $350 entry, 3-pack for $1,000. We've not increased the entry fees for this competition, basically since its inception. And the 3-pack for $1,000, that's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah. So the contest stays. I think the aspects of the contest that people have enjoyed and loved is staying. So the 350, 3 for 1,000, 3 teams for 1,000, that's staying. Oh, another actually aspect that we did get rid of that, maybe people have gotten a little tired of was part of the championship round prize structure. At the bottom of that included some subscriptions over the years. Years ago, it used to be subscriptions with our older partner football guys, and last couple of years with the Fantasy Pros partnership. And a lot of people did like that, but some did not. Some wanted a cash option, which did not exist. So we took those off and replaced them with an FFPC either credit or a cash option. So one other thing, again, to kind of be excited about. But everything else is just as you love and are used to. The $1 million grand prize certainly is not going anywhere. And the rules are all staying exactly as they are. And everything else about it that you're used to is staying where it is.
I think the other just kind of like the minor things that we've added, you'll notice in the draft room, there's a different sound effect when the drafts go off. You'll also notice that the draft board, I don't want to say has been streamlined, but I just think visually it's easier to consume the content on those draft boards. It's much more visually, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So you'll notice that change as well. We've covered a lot here, Alex. Is there anything players should know that we haven't talked about regarding the Big Gorilla?
No, I mean, that's basically it. The goal here was really to put something out that, could be a little more fun, a little more pleasing to the eye, even to the ear, in terms of the sounds and the visuals of the Big Gorilla. And really, we just wanted everyone to have as much fun playing this contest as we had putting it together, creating it, designing it, and putting it out for everyone. So hopefully that will come through, for everyone playing it. And there's nothing else would please us more than having everyone enjoy this contest.
Absolutely. There you have it, everybody. The ins and outs of the Big Gorilla. You can draft in it right now. myffpc.com/Big Gorilla. For Alex Kaganovsky, I'm Eric Balkman. Happy drafting, everybody. We'll see you later, and good luck winning that $1 million.
Take care.